Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Dent Sports. I'm Don.
I'm Steve.
Bringing another week full of jam-packed action. We kind of missed last week because I know baseball and everything was starting, so didn't want to convolute everything and having things happen in the middle of the week. So thought we'd just come back and give you all a little bit of an Easter break, and that way you can spend time with your family instead of us.
Yeah, because if you're spending time with us, it's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, I was going to say you need some friends.
Yeah.
You need some help. Do that instead of spending it with us. But thank you for attending for this week. So I guess we'll kick off actually with the new sport, right? Since we got baseball starting. Rockies actually surprised me a little bit with playing kind of with the world champs with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Pitching was so-so and suspect as usual. Almost got blown out of the game big time, but then they actually rallied and only lost within 5. And they actually for the most part hung with the Dodgers through all 4 games, but they only got 1 game out of it, and I think tonight they're playing the D-backs, which is the next series. There was, of course, the afternoon rainstorm, so they got weather delayed for a bit. But we'll see how they do. Like I said, I don't expect too much from the team, and especially with the threat of not paying anybody with Story's contract coming up and him being a potential free agent, which I totally see being a free agent.
Yeah.
But again, hey, the scary thing could happen. I saw that Tatis is down, and they don't really know how long he's going to be. So, well, Rockies have a shortstop for Bell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And knowing the Padres guy, he might. Like I said, imagine having Story at second with Tatis at short.
Yeah.
And then having Machado and Hosmer, it'd be pretty scary.
Yeah.
But again, all speculations, and then of course, then the bad part is we get the All-Star game, so that gives Monford's pockets a little bit more deeper, which is unfortunate because we really just want him to sell the team as quick as possible, so we don't have to deal with any more of this junk anymore, and actually put a good team out there once again, like they used to, except for the pitching. So. We'll see. We'll see how that goes as we go in the next few weeks.
No, the fact that they're playing competitive baseball is good.
Yeah.
When you step on the field, you don't feel like it's an automatic loss. Like you feel like you got some bats in the lineup that can put some runs on the board. They'll probably win their fair share.
Yeah. Like Owings has started off hot in the season. Garrett Hampson has played well. So again, we'll see. You're going to hit slumps, and people are going to go down in injuries, just like Tatis and stuff. So we'll see how the depth goes with everything. But I totally see him fighting the Giants and the D-backs for the bottom. Because we'll see what this puts a huge wrench in the Padres if Tatis is out for a while. So that should give the Dodgers plenty of opportunity to walk away with the division. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But how about the Tigers? How are they starting off?
Tigers are actually doing okay. Better than I had envisioned initially. They actually have a winning record, I think. They won today, so
yeah.
They got a record of 3-2. I can tell right now just by the games I've watched, it's going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah.
They don't have really good pitching. The relief staff doesn't look all that great. And truthfully, they don't have a whole lot of firepower either, which is not going to be good. Cabrera is still hitting in the 4 spot, and I don't know what he's going to bring. He's definitely showing his age a little bit, but I don't think the management of the team is really thinking they're going to compete anyway. It's going to be another. Hey, let's ride the slow boat kind of here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just try to.
Keep people in the stands. Make the games interesting, or it's fun to come out.
Yeah.
But I see it being.
But we're not paying too much.
Right. I just see it being a rough year.
Yeah.
But with that being said, then maybe they can surprise. I did see Mize pitch today. This is the first time he's pitched, I think, since he's was drafted in 2018. So he's been in the minors the last couple of seasons. And from what I saw of him, kid's got a lot of movement on the ball. I think he's going to be a nice pitcher for the Tigers. Hopefully he'll stay on the Tigers.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how he develops and
Yeah.
if he becomes trade potential or
Or they actually intend on using him since they put him in put him in their system.
Like I said, hopefully they don't do the Max Scherzer and the
Right.
and the
Verlander
thing where you got a pitcher and those are hard to come by. So
Yeah.
keep
No,
keep those guys as long as you can.
No, and I would imagine from what they saw of him today, they got to be pretty happy. Kid looked pretty poised out there too, and didn't look nervous, and wasn't throwing the ball all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
He gave up a few hits, but that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought he played really. He looks really nice, and I could definitely see him becoming part of the rotation, and probably on the higher part of the rotation.
Yeah.
Rather than the lower.
Yeah.
So, but it was nice to see him pitch, and it's nice to see him get a victory as well. So.
Well, it's good to see when they always talk about prospects and all that stuff, where they actually get into the games and kind of go, is he actual prospect or is he just all hype and nothing's been done? So it's really good to see young arms get up in there and actually pitch.
Right. No, exactly. Because sometimes they just spend their whole time in the minor leagues and never get up there.
Yeah.
And kudos for the Tigers for bringing them up. Let's face it. If you got nothing going on anyway, now's the time to see what he's got. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Even if he's losing, it doesn't matter because you're probably losing anyway.
Yeah.
So let's see what he's got. Let's see what his arm looks like. What kind of pitching? It looked like he had about, I would say, at least 3 pitches, maybe 4, that were pretty stout, looking good location wise and stuff. His fastball was on point. So that's good stuff. And hopefully he'll just continue to get better.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was happy. So that's Tiger baseball.
Yeah, all wrapped up.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we go to the next big thing. I guess would be football, right? Because that's still getting in the conversation as much as we go every week. Now with the draft almost upon us, I heard today that the Falcons are entertaining the number 4 position again, which is by all means the smartest thing to do because you can stay with it or you can see what everybody's going to give up for it.
Yeah.
You might get something out of it. That's worth a darn, and especially if you're not looking at a quarterback. I know they could be because of Matt Ryan's situation, but again, there's a lot of validity going, I think, into that top 10. I know where our teams are at, where they could be moving up or moving down, depending on whatever's going to go on with the whim. I myself, the way I see it is, I think, unless they come with a sweetheart deal to move down, I think Denver stays put and just see who they can get at that point. If it's an offensive lineman, if it's the tight end, or the linebacker,
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But again, I'm not in the room with Peyton and the and the guys, so I'll leave it up to them when it gets to it. But hopefully they choose wisely on that. At this point, I really fell out of the notion that we'll probably get anybody really worth a darn at the quarterback position because I just see the Watson thing just fizzling out now for the most part. Not to say that we could maybe pick up Bridgewater or something like that now, or just compete and at least gives us a good backup. I can see that happening, but I kind of hearing and watching the news. I'm gonna kind of fall back on kind of what we've talked about before is it looks like to me I'd say we're setting ourselves up for Aaron Rodgers if he becomes available, and which it sounds like from all signs that it looks like he's not going to be in Green Bay after this year. So I think this is the whole hey, we'll see what Luck does for one more, and then we'll bring in the old man, and that's where I kind of see it kind of falling, is that we're getting the roster juicier and beefier without his help. And then I know if they sign him, then more people will come. They'll flock to go there. But I think it just, to me, it just seems the writing's on the wall that it's just, I think it's gonna happen. That you talked about, and I just don't see anything going big with the quarterback position right now. I think Locke is gonna have the reins for one more year, and then, like I said, if somebody like Bridgewater comes in, if they're lucky, get to a 500, and then once Rodgers becomes available, because that's what it looks like to me. And I'm like, I don't have any inside information, or I'm not, but it's just weird that it seems like he's on the outs right now in Green Bay. It's not like he's not going to be re-signed, or he's not, because he didn't adjust his contract. He didn't do anything, right?
Well,
which seems to me like, oh, okay, well, see you later.
Well, yeah, I mean, the fact that, what they've done to him in the past, don't give him any talent.
Yeah.
He's probably just kind of like Tom Brady, just got sick of watching it go by.
Yeah.
You don't want to give me any help? Okay, see you later.
Yeah.
Well, but now I think the biggest thing you got to worry about now is not another football team, but Jeopardy. Jeopardy's calling.
Yeah.
He wants to take that show over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I can see him doing it too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he'd be a perfect fit on that.
Which would be fine. We can, if he wants to, film it once or twice a week, and then come to practice, we'll be all right with it.
Yeah.
Whatever he wants. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're going to tell me Aaron Rodgers needs some more practice. I think he's got,
No, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Give him the playbook to study.
Yeah, he's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, he'll be just fine.
Yeah, just tell him to bring the film crew up the street. We'll be fine.
I was listening to some stuff this morning on that, and I mean, he pretty much said, "I want to be the host of Jeopardy."
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
So
did you see the final Jeopardy guy? The guy that gave him the question, like, why did they go for the field goal instead of going for a touchdown? He wrote on the board, on the final Jeopardy, which was pretty hilarious because it kind of caught him off guard. And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, that's a different topic," but it was pretty funny that the guy actually did that. And I was like, good for him. That was like a almost like a Sean Connery SNL skit, right? Where he was writing it in, whatever he wanted. But it was kind of funny though that he went to say, hey, well, why the heck did they kick a field goal in that situation? So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, just basically asking him to fucking throw some people under.
Well, yeah, exactly. Put him in the position where he's just like, oh, do I really need to answer this? But I'll pass.
Yeah.
On that, but yeah, we'll see. But like I said, it just has the feeling. At least I'm getting, gut feeling right now is that I think they're just going to sit
and kind of wait and see.
And wait
on this sweepstakes.
And then if you have a chance, again, like I said, you're a quarterback. Just like anybody else. If you have a chance at Rodgers,
no, that's what you're going to do.
And it fits our MO, right? Aging quarterback near the end of his career. Still got 2 years, 3 years left, and see what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, and he still throws the ball as pretty as anybody out there.
Yeah.
And as accurately too. So it's like, definitely not a bad move.
Like I said, if somebody's going to offer you him, be like, okay, where do I sign?
Yeah, no, they'll definitely do something.
Yeah,
they're definitely in the ball game for that, and and see what the draft brings too.
Like I said, we'll just see. But I just don't know. I just having this weird feeling that I can totally see Rodgers coming. Like I said, it's just there's no positive coming out of Green Bay right now, where he wants to stay there past this year.
No, I agree.
So.
I agree. And then all the signs I've seen as far as the draft for Denver, it hasn't really been a quarterback that they show them drafting.
No,
it's been everything but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've been talking about Fields dropping X, Y, and Z, but I just don't know and what's there and truthfully honest, like I said, I think it'd be smart not to draft a quarterback sitting there to either mortgage your future with those guys that are currently on the board, just to be on the run to have a quarterback drafted, right? You
Because
know.
if you don't really think the guy is the future,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I want winners.
I want winners. Can't do it. Can't win with them. Yeah. To me, is just I just totally see them as just like you said. You know, like we talked about somebody other than a QB. And just see whoever falls. I mean, like you said, if there is a run up for quarterbacks, and you know those first 5 spots, well, I mean that means you've got top 5 talent coming in at the 6, 7, 8, 9 spot, right? Or we're at, yeah, you know what I mean. And I'm just thinking like, shoot, if the offensive lineman from the Bengals fall, you know, not from Bengals, but from Oregon falls down, well, there's our right tackle, and he's going to be there whenever or whatever goes the left tackle. You know what I mean? It's just that's just a huge grab on that to again reinforce like, hey, Aaron, like we got tackles. You know, we got everything set up. You know, there's a linebacker comes in still looking good. Corner, you know, can't hurt to have corners. So like I said, I think they're sitting good on or the tight end, right? But it sounds like everybody's claiming to get up to Pitts too. But but if for some reason he falls down to 9, there you go. There's another offensive weapon. You know, I mean, I've seen them starting. They're putting up numbers with Calvin with Johnson, right? They're putting up his measurables, and he's just like he checks every box the same as Calvin Johnson is. You know, the height, the the wingspan, XYZ, right? So it's like, dude, that dude's a freak. So I mean,
he's special.
I mean, you saw what Johnson did. So if he's anywhere remotely near that, you'll be in good shape.
You got a Pro Bowl.
You're in good shape. You know.
You got a difference maker.
Yeah, that's on there. But we'll see. I saw today that we kind of like what the guy's old stomping grounds becomes a playground. So I guess we signed a defensive tackle, Shamar Stephen, to a 1-year deal. So again, puts depth at defensive tackle. So I'm all up for it. Anything else to put pressure? And like you said, Minnesota, not a bad place to grab defense from.
No.
And like I said, that Peyton guy who is from the Vikings, you know, kind of knows who's where, and you know, hopefully he'll be a steal for us.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a solid pickup.
Yeah,
I mean, for sure. I would totally agree with you.
Yeah. So, but again, you know, we're sitting here 3 weeks to go for the draft, so we'll see what happens on that. So, how about the Lions?
Lions been actually they made some moves here recently. Today, they signed that Quentin Dunbar. I think he'll be a nice addition to the corner position since outside of Okuda, we really don't have much there right now.
I was going to say they're thin, right? So and any help on defense is good.
Right. I mean, and look, you know, this is the thing that's kind of interesting with all the Lions moves that I've seen is primarily everybody's on a 1-year contract, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially given this cap scenario that they're in. And it's kind of like good for the player because if they play really good, then they're probably going to get a high offer from somebody, or maybe Detroit signs them again. If not, then you know it's not a scenario where they got to stick around in Detroit if they don't like it.
Yeah.
So
it's a good trial, right? It's like a trial run, right?
Right.
And if he stays, and like you can ask him, well, you want to stay here? We'll re-sign you and put you to a long-term contract.
Right, exactly. I mean, and that's kind of what they're doing. And I like I said, I actually am in agreement with what they do, what they're doing right now. I think it's the right move. You know, I mean, and plus they're trying to bring in guys that kind of fit the MO of what they want. And to me, that's important. You know, I mean, you can't sit there and try to change culture and change whatever, and get players that aren't in that and have that mindset. You know, so I mean, I'm not sitting here saying the Lions are doing anything spectacular come this season, but I mean, it's a start and it's a process, and I'm more excited now than I've been in years about what possibly could be.
Yeah.
You know, down the road. I mean, we're still miles away, but one piece at a time. And you know, the draft I think is going to be interesting. I think Detroit's definitely been one of the teams that has been talking about moving down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there will be an opportunity for that. I mean, because we have multiple holes to fill.
Yeah.
You know, the guy at 7 isn't going to fix our problem. I don't
Mhm.
care who it is. You know, we got a lot of holes we need to
Mhm.
fill, and so if we can get, more picks and have a chance at more players,
Yeah.
I think that's ultimately what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think that'd be because again, more holes. I'm a firm believer. You got to fill holes eventually,
No,
and that's the way to do it. But if you did draft up there, I've seen some of the predictions X, Y, and Z. But I think Waddle would be
Mhm.
a huge pick because again, that gives you wide receiver and punt returner, which is fantastic, right? It gives you a surefire, bonus that he can do more than one thing for you. So for me, I think he would be a perfect pick for the Lions because you're getting more than just a wide receiver out of the draft choice. But
No, I
again, just
agree.
like with the Broncos, we'll see what they do.
Yeah,
when
no,
it comes
and
there.
I mean, given Brad Holmes' background, that was his specialty, was drafting.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, I'm sure that everybody there has got to be feeling somewhat pretty solid about what's going on,
Mhm.
and the fact that it's kind of a team effort in that thing now more than ever, I think that's going to be a benefit. And we'll see what happens, like you said, but I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there, I think, for them to move down, get a few extra picks,
Yeah.
who knows, what they'll do ultimately, but yeah, I think it would be great if they can move down. And I mean, I don't know how far they're going to move down. I don't think you want to move out of the first round per se, but
No.
you definitely want to.
Yeah. Well, again, just depends on whatever people are offering you. If they're not offering you anything to
Right.
move, then go ahead and get the best player you can. But
right. And like you said, I mean, because of all the push for all these quarterbacks, I mean, there's going to be top 5 talent in that 5 through 10 area.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
Yeah, like I said, I totally see you could get one of the top 3 wide receivers.
Yeah.
You can get one of the top 2 offensive linemen. You know what I mean? Like you said, I think when it falls down into that top 10, I think those teams that are just stay still are going to have hell of a players to choose from. Not to say that they'll be good, but at least looking at it like, hey, these guys could really help the organization.
Yeah,
A lot
we need
because
stability.
instant impact,
Right.
or
We need-
potential for instant impact.
Yeah. No, exactly. And we need stability. We need a guy that's going to play for us for 10 years.
Yeah.
Come in and play offensive line. Be that guy for 10 years.
Yep.
Perfect. That's exactly what we need. We don't need the fly by night. Hey, here for 1 week and gone the next.
Yeah. All flash and
Right.
no
We don't
substance.
need that. We don't need that kind of crap. So.
Yeah.
Well, neither the Broncos. Neither team does.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't afford to miss. This is the only thing that we can't really afford.
We need solid player.
Yeah.
That's what we need. And whatever position is deepest for that is what I want to see him take. I mean,
Exactly.
so that you almost can, be pretty assured that you're going to get somebody that's going to impact the team rather than ride the bench for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So, but I'm in agreement with you. I mean, this is going to be interesting as hell. See how this draft breaks down and just to see kind of, the shape the teams are going to take.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I really expect there to be after the draft a lot more moves made.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still tons of free agents still out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think based upon what happens and where they feel as though they filled those holes or didn't fill them, there's still possibilities to bring in some pretty quality free agents that could make an impact on this team and on the Broncos as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could work out pretty good for both of our teams. So, but yeah, that's cool. What do you think? Should we get in some hockey?
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, Avalanche have been impressive over the last month. I think they haven't lost. I think they're like 15-0-3 or something like that. Something ridiculous. And again, with the trade line looming, I don't know what Sakic's going to do. I'm not going to say that he's not going to do anything. Who knows? I mean, there's some big name players that haven't performed very well for like Buffalo and New Jersey and some other teams. So, not to say that he can't pull somebody else in, and then who else wouldn't want to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll be on the best team in the league if they want you. So I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, as of right now, that you can't ask for what the team's doing right now.
No.
Still moving along, still having little nicks and bumps with some of the deeper third and fourth line players, but ever since they got everybody kind of back, they've just been chugging along and mowing people down for the most part. Like I said, to win 15 games out of 18 or something ridiculous like that. I don't. Hopefully, they're not peaking at the wrong time because you need 16 games to get in, to win the cup, right?
Yeah.
So you need this type of run at the end of the year. That's with it. But again, just potential how the team can play is. No, it's right there. It's every night you watch it and just kind of go, okay.
The confidence level is super high right now.
Yeah.
Which is what you need as well. So
yeah.
All these young talent guys are just like, hey, yeah, I'm a part of this.
Yeah.
I'll come in and ball out. So it's good. I mean, things are good in Avalanche land right now for sure.
Yeah.
I wish I could say the same in Detroit, but we're struggling a little bit. Getting beat pretty much on a nightly basis. But and then I see that there's talk that they're trying to get rid of the goalie, the decent one that they have.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But like I said before, it's Yzerman's team. I'll let him run it.
Yeah.
And trust that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do, right? I mean, with his pedigree, with building that Tampa Bay franchise, to where they've gotten to, with a few cups themselves, you can't argue it. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, see what he builds.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't take too long, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But
the nice thing with it is hopefully they'll give him time to do it. I mean, that was the thing with Sakic even. They had to give him time because it was pretty bad. Trying to figure out what they needed to do, and then very similar to what we saw with a lot of these other teams is, your star player gets shipped off for these draft choices, but now again they hit with the draft choices, so that makes it the blow less effective. So seeing Duchesne go, but you're getting Makar, and all these youngsters are starting to contribute every night, and then they even got a couple more kids I think in the last week signed too, which are also top young talent. So again, just like things are rolling well, and it looks like they're building themselves up for a nice stable run for several years. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean they're in real good shape. They're really good shape.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean the Red Wings I think they'll get there again sometime, but we'll see. But like you said, I mean, and truthfully, I mean, if there's one guy that's going to be able to have the opportunity for that time, it probably would be Stevie Y.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's got more respect from Detroit fans and Detroit media, Detroit whatever, than he's going to have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's in good hands as far as that goes, I think.
Yeah.
But
he's definitely got time.
Yeah. What's the difference? I mean, if it's not him, and then it's somebody else going in there, and they're going to want to rebuild anyway. So
it's pretty much inevitable what's happening.
Right. I mean, everybody knew the writing was on the wall. So
rebuild. So
that's just part of Detroit. It's the rebuild.
Yeah.
Every team is in rebuild mode. So.
Speaking of the Pistons, right?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Speaking of the Pistons, they're in a rebuild mode too.
Yeah, that's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah. I was going to say with the trade deadline that passed for the NBA, they were kind of neutral, right, per se. They didn't let guys go, and they of course they're not going to acquire anybody they
kind of sat quietly. Truthfully, I mean, and the one trade that was being offered to them, they didn't end up accepting, which I was kind of happy about because not that I don't like Marvin badly, but I mean, I don't want to see him give up pay for anybody. Not when he's playing as solid as he's playing these days. I mean, the more he's on the floor, the better he's getting. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting their hinds kicked in tonight against your team.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this is the makeup COVID game that happened.
So, Detroit's playing like
a couple months ago.
Detroit's playing like they got COVID. So, so
Yeah.
it's not a good sign, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, like I said, they're a team that's got a lot of young players, and I mean, just like Dumbaye and some of these guys are all young, and they're building for the future. They got a lot of young talent. It's just,
Well, I like it too. They got the coaches from all those years at Toronto, right? I mean, he was the Raptors' old coach, so.
Yeah, no, Wayne Casey's got a lot of respect in this league.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he knows what he's doing, especially, again, a Canadian basketball team, even tougher than a normal just basketball team, and be able to perform up in Canada.
Yep.
And got Toronto to kind of, where they went when they got Leonard and, XYZ, right, when that happened. But, again, if you give him, probably those Leonards and those Lowry pieces, I'm sure he can do a good job. I mean, like I said, I'd probably take him over Lou any day. You know what I mean? If I'm sitting as a coach, as somebody like, I don't see Lou doing anything unless he has top players where I see that guy, was kind of in an abandoned franchise, up north. But then once you got a piece to go with Lowry, it was a completely different story for that team.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So,
no, I would agree. I think Dwayne Casey's a pretty good coach. I mean,
because like I said, even with all that stuff, they were still in the playoffs and a viable franchise.
Yeah. No, he was definitely. He's not a bad fit for Detroit. He's the right guy right now, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, hopefully it'll pan out. But
yeah.
Again, here we are in rebuild.
Yeah, exactly.
We're always talking about rebuilds. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I know. Buffy Bidrich is definitely right. Because that's coming up for my team, which, again, like you, has always been in a constant thing of rebuild. But I mean, as far as us for the trade deadline, I mean, Gordon has played really, really well for us. McGee finally got out the other night. I hadn't seen the other guard, I believe. I forgot his name that also was picked up. I think he was in the Orlando trade as well. I haven't seen him as much. But we'll see how. I'm sure he'll be used as we get further down, closer to playoffs.
Yep.
But the team has gone on a upward projection since the trade deadline. So, again, kudos for them to actually make a move in the West against all the super dominant super teams that seem to be out there in prevalence in the West. So we'll see what they do. They even have, they got to be good because they got Peyton Manning in the stands tonight. So Peyton's got it on him, and his kids are out there.
Yeah, maybe he's looking at potentially taking this team over.
Yeah, well, no, I want him to, go down the street and get the Broncos in line.
Yeah,
that'd be good for me. I'd be like, hey, why don't you guys get a group together and take over the Broncos, and you can call your buddy Aaron, bring him on over, right?
Yeah, tell him come on down.
Yeah, come on over, Aaron. We got this thing ready for you. All you got to do is turn the key.
No, I was really impressed, actually, like we talked about before, about what they did at the deadline. And I was talking on another show this morning on a podcast and was making mention of that, too, that to me that was not just a move. That was a major move, because they're not usually one that become the players at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they have had solid teams in the past, but they don't usually go out and say, well, we're making the push.
Yeah.
And to me, these two guys they brought in, that's a big push.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we want to compete here. We're not just here to watch the parade go by.
Yeah, watch everybody else celebrate.
Yeah, and I mean, kudos to them, like you said, because you pretty much can't stand pat and expect to compete.
Mm-hmm.
When you see, the Clippers signing, these other guys, and the Lakers signing Drummond. I mean, the Drummond signing to me is a huge signing.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. I mean, to me, that was a tremendous signing.
Yeah. It's going to pay off bigly.
I mean, honestly, I thought that was the biggest signing as I've seen in the offseason, truthfully. Or not offseason, but That was as big a
Yeah.
deal as I've seen because that guy's going to come in there. He's going to give you 20 plus a night. He's going to give you 15 boards. He's going to block 3 or 4 shots. I mean, he's going to give you that stable force in the middle that you need, especially against a team like Denver.
Yeah.
You know, with Jokic in this. I mean, you got to have somebody that can play defense.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not just wallpaper. Like, you know, I mean, he's going to throw some points in the bucket, and he's not just going to stand like a statue.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be active on all sides of the floor. So, I mean, that was a great move by the Lakers. But again, I mean, kudos to Denver though. I love the moves that they made. I think that was a great idea to bring those 2 guys in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and JaVale's going to have a lot more value than people think.
Yeah,
especially as we get into playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, he's been there, done that. He's played in big games, been in big moments, and competed well.
Yeah, and you know, and his game is going to be more if he makes a big block and then sparks everybody and makes a big dunk and gets everybody in. Because again, I'm sure by the next 20 some games that there's going to be more crowd involved into it. So if he can get the home team a little bit more of a volt, jump start, if they're flat, then it's only going to help. So.
Yeah, no, and he's definitely an energy guy for sure.
Exactly. So he's going to pick up on I think especially on the defensive end.
Yep.
And then that's what Denver needs is deep. I mean, even before the trade, they needed more defense to stop teams a little bit better.
And Gordon, I think, has fit in really well.
Yeah.
Thus far, I mean, he's brought him some nice offense and plays good D. So.
Yeah, and
nice.
then him and Jokic they already have a connection. It looks like that.
Yeah.
He knows where exactly he's at. And so we'll see. Should be fun. Hopefully another fun postseason run from Nuggets. I don't know how far it's going to go. If it's going to go just as far or more as last year, but we can only hope.
Yeah. No, but
That's
one thing you can't say is that they didn't try.
Yeah, exactly.
They brought pieces in. So from a fan standpoint, you got to at least be pleased with that. I mean.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff going on in Denver right now.
I think so. Yeah, I think except for the rock pile, but I think all the other teams
Things are looking up.
Things are looking pretty good, and I think if Denver can get the ownership thing settled, I know that's in trial, and hopefully we get that done, and then once that's done, and see if we can get Peyton to get a management group to buy the team would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's there because he's at a damn Nuggets game, so you know what I mean. He's in town, so So you know what? Might as well have the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
there
I'm sure John's been in his ear a little bit.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, I was going to say with everything that's John done, but I mean, again, I think Peyton going to the next level, right? Where I don't know if John wanted or not is ownership. I mean, that's not to say that they couldn't join each other. You know what I mean? Like John couldn't be part owner as well. I mean, that would be the ultimate, right? Have John and Peyton as part of your ownership group, but.
Yeah, I don't think the more famed Broncos.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you could go wrong with that. I think everybody would be up for it. Truthfully, I think everybody would be like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But again, same thing, 2 guys passionate about the city and the team.
Yeah.
I think, that's exactly what they need. I mean, that's definitely what Pat Bowlen instilled was, win, and that's all that matters. That's the big thing. Build a great franchise.
Yeah.
We need to get the franchise back to where it was. I mean, this is getting pathetic. Going back to the late '60s, early '70s Broncos, were laughing stock of the league, and this sucks. I like the golden years.
Welcome to my end of the pool.
Even the years that we were losing, Super Bowls, it was still like, oh, cool, they're at least in the playoffs. Oh, hey, you made a Super Bowl. Cool.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, oh, there's 3 wins, 4 wins. It sucks.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's horrible when you get to the deep end of the pool.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a life preserver.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, this isn't good at all. So, but we'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens down the road. But at least there's some points that are going the right way.
Yep. So that's awesome. So that kind of caps off another week here.
Yep. We'll get another week next week. We'll see if the Avs can keep the streak up. We'll get more probably news of more mock drafts. We'll probably get the 50th mock draft from Mel Kiper by that time, and Todd McShay, and they'll still have no clue what's actually happening, which I would not expect them to. But I mean, they have a lot of inside information, but I don't see. Again, it's a complete until it happens and still it goes. I mean, even as you people know, even in your fantasy drafts and all that stuff, you have a plan, and then once it starts going, that plan normally changes several times throughout. Like, oh, that guy's gone. Oh, who picked that? Why did they pick that guy? Okay, So we'll see what happens with the draft as it upcoming. I mean, not to say there could be more moving up already, by next week, especially if the Falcons are already entertaining offers right now, so there could be more movement.
Oh yeah, I could see like a team like New England or somebody moving up because they want to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
And who knows? It's going to be interesting to say the least. So.
Yeah. Again, as always, it's nice to sit there, but you just hope your team doesn't overspend or overreach. That's where I'm kind of at, because since we do need a quarterback per se, everybody keeps throwing us into every questionable thing, like, oh, they'll move up, though. I'm like, no, well, don't reach for it, because that puts you backwards if you miss.
No, I mean, if you had a guy you were looking for, then by all means. But if that guy's, you're not sure on that guy.
Yeah. Well, with us, I'm what it looks like I would be guessing is that we're probably going to be either Trey Lance or Fields.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
because I think the Jets are taking.
Wilson.
BYU.
Yeah. So to me, and I think Mac Jones is going to go to the Niners. To me, I just think we'll see, and then if Fields is going to fall anyway, why trade up? You know what I mean? So there's a whole bunch of.
I can see him taking Fields if he's there for sure.
Of questions, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I just don't know. as most of them, but like I said, I don't see. Again, my personal opinion is I just don't think it would be good to have Lance or Fields at 9. I just don't like. I'd rather have some other piece that's in there because we already know we're pretty much sunk at the QB spot because we can't get anybody else, and there's no sense of mortgaging any stuff that you already have that you might need next year. Again, like I said, if another year comes along where you go, okay,
and who knows what's going to happen with what's his name, Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that deal? Because
yeah,
he might not even be able to play.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing that's with it is to the point now where it's just like I don't see anything that rolling the dice on somebody right now is worth it. I don't see anybody that's worth rolling that with it. Just let it come as it is and figure out who you need to do. But it'd be nice to bring in somebody to compete against Locke to maybe put the fire. But again, that's why I said I think that's where we might be able to get a Bridgewater cheap. I mean, there's still quarterbacks out there.
Yeah. I actually think Bridgewater is a nice quarterback.
Yeah, no, as I said, every time I bring up his name, everybody poo-poos it away. But I'm like, well, the guy does it right. He does the.
No, he played.
He does that in the Alex Smith, right? Where it's just like, you know what? Don't be loosey-goosey with the ball and just make the right play at the right time and see what happens.
Yeah. No, I think he played really well when he was in with the Saints there.
Yeah.
When he got his opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You give him enough weapons and he's going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, Carolina wasn't exactly a team full of.
No, they were full of, and they got decimated by injuries once McCaffrey went down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see that as a fair assessment of him.
Yeah.
And so I mean, if the Broncos can get him for virtually nothing, hell, bring him on.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if nothing else, he's a great backup.
Yeah, like I said, in the event if something happens or Locke just doesn't grasp the offense. Yeah. And then that's where we're at.
Yeah, you still got a chance to be more than good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said,
at least get to that 500 mark. Right? Yeah. That's the first step.
Let's get above that five win mark here.
Yeah. Let's get into like week 11 with into the playoff hunt
Yeah.
instead of out. Already out of contention.
Well, instead of being out of it in week 5, we can.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's just like, oh man, another year like this and another carousel graphic going up on the board.
Yep.
So, but
Exactly.
we'll see. So, thank you guys for joining another week of Dent Sports, and we'll see everybody on the next week and see what has transpired in the world of sports. So, once again, I'm Don,
I'm Steve.
and we'll see you in the next episode.
Have a good night.